All right. Good morning, Tom. Can you hear us? Are we
It
start?
looks like looks like Tom is pushing us this morning, Scott. Let's get it
Yeah.
started. Okay.
Is,
Morning,
is he
Tom.
is he is he waiting to get to the pub like last time?
Well, you never know, right? You
He
never know.
was in Ireland and a few hours ahead of time, so and they were going for lunch.
Yeah.
But no. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Military Retirement Blueprint. If this is your first time checking us out, I'm Scott Tucker from U.S. Vet Wealth, and I'm here with Captain Retired Mike Wallace, founder of Blue Water Advisors, and what we do on our day jobs is have conversations every day with senior leaders retiring out of the military, already out, have questions about benefits, career progression,
We
and
do have a lot of
everything
conversations, don't we?
and,
We
and
have a lot.
everything that comes along with that,
Yeah.
right? So we created this show as an opportunity for one for Mike and I to catch up on things, but also share those insights we learned from those conversations for new people coming through. There's always stuff coming up, and oftentimes we uh, bring people on the show that share their own insights and experiences. Like a few weeks ago, if you look back, we talked with Tom Welsh while he was in Dublin to talk about some legalities. A lot of questions came up around, hey, when am I allowed to join this
Yeah.
contracting firm and that kind of stuff. So, and you can check out our website to look at past episodes and a bunch of other content at militaryretirementblueprint.com. And holidays are coming. Well, first Army Navy's coming up, so
Yes, it is.
had to throw on the Army shirt. If you're in the Norfolk area, just throwing this out there, my CrossFit gym got a bunch of Naval Academy grad. I'm the only West Pointer in there, but we're going to be. Well, we're just throwing this together, but we got a projector and a big wall, plenty of space to throw it on. So we're going to watch the game in our gym.
Oh, nice.
So if anybody doesn't want to just sit in a loud restaurant and wants to, come with some community, I'm sure it'll be a BYOB, potluck thing if we even do that. But come check out Somnium CrossFit in Norfolk if you're local. If you want to watch the game with some friends or stop in, it's
That sounds
I
like a
don't
good
even
time. Yeah, it sounds
yeah
like a
yeah
good
yeah.
time. Yeah.
So other than that, I haven't been to a game. Have you been to a game before?
You mean an
Army
actual
Navy?
Army Navy game?
Yeah,
I have not attended an actual Army Navy game. No.
we'll have to consider going up to one
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
It's a fun time, but it's usually pretty darn cold.
I was gonna
And
say you gotta dress warm, man, right? You're always looking at the people in the stands, man. They're a little bit on the chilly side. What's Tom
yeah,
saying? What is the
first
first
rule. The
no,
joke
not CrossFit.
is
Just
CrossFit's a
like Fight Club,
cult
Tom. Just like
and
Fight
all
Club.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, hey, listen. Here's the thing with CrossFit. When I was out of shape and 300 pounds, um, I can do handstand walks now. You know, so
In case you need to. Yeah. Yeah.
right, right. Well, it's about balance and coordination. You don't have
Sure.
to take it as serious as a lot of people do. But sure, call it a cult. I don't, we don't care. It's a bunch of fit people getting together. And what I like about it is, especially when you're coming out of the military, used to organization. Um, I just have to show up and there's something to do. So I don't have to think about my fitness planning and stuff. So um, but looks like Tom was in the cult as well. But anyway, so that's where we're hosting that.
That's good.
Um, but yeah, man, it's been a few weeks. I know you had a cohort last week. How you doing?
Yeah, man. It's busy. End of year crept up on us, right? It is
Always.
absolutely just mind-boggling to me that we finished our last cohort of the year last week, right? And yeah, just amazing, right? So we wrapped up 2025. We've got our networking event, right? End of year networking event, which we've got about 20, 25 people registered to show up today. So we'll get together and kind of close out the year and bring everybody up to speed. And then, we'll step into 2026. And like I alluded to the other day, we are almost at capacity right now, Scott. It's amazing. I mean, we only published the 2026 schedule not even a month ago, right? I mean, and we're tracking to head to San Diego in January. That event is full. Back here in Norfolk in February, that event is already full. March takes us up to Pax River. I think at last looking, that event is full. Orlando, Florida in April, that event is full. Shield AI in the Arlington spaces. Remember, we went up and looked at those spaces, right? That event is almost full right now. And in fact, all the way out through July, which is back here in Norfolk, we are almost full in that event. I think we've got 1 or 2 open seats. So, man, for the first half of 2026, we are almost completely booked up solid, right? And it's just amazing to me that, our network continues to grow, right? Month over month over month. So it's an amazing thing.
No, well, I mean, you've clearly created value for a lot of retirees, and I know they're spreading the word to give back, and because ultimately, even if somebody's landed in their next career, they don't know what's coming next, or might see new opportunities, and going to want to stay tapped into the network to look for opportunities and to help those coming along. And I think that's the real value of what you've created,
Yeah.
is given people someone to talk to, when they got questions that might narrow down their search a little bit, kind of a jump start, right? Versus just cold calling people on LinkedIn, which you got to do that too, which
Yeah.
we talk about a lot. But
no, it is. It's an amazing thing, and our members, I think, are really appreciative of the efforts that we put in place, and aspiring members as well, too, right? So we're really excited about that, right? Like I said, the network is growing. You realize we're almost 500 senior leaders, right? That we maintain that relationship with in the network, which for an aspiring member, if you're listening, that means, we already know you don't have time to build the right network for what it is you're pursuing, right? And so we build it for you. We maintain it for you. Members come in, you fundamentally go through the same entry level knowledge retention, content review, right, that we offer at Blue Water. But then you plug right into the network, and there's a network ready-made of other senior veteran leaders who have navigated to their success, who have also been through the Blue Water cohort system, who understand the message, the approach, and everything. Well, they're right there for you to plug into. So you go 0 to 100 in no time flat, right? And and that's pretty exciting. We're just excited to continue to grow and build that.
Right. I mean, 500. That's like a milestone. Like, might want to. You could wait till 1,000 members, but that might take a few more years. But that makes me think, like, why not throw a party?
Yeah, exactly.
And invite everybody, and maybe we could do something. Maybe this time next year, do a kind of a 1-day conference of sorts. Bring in some speakers
Just
and
open it up, right, for people that want to plug in and listen and pull back out,
or have members talk, do panels.
Exactly. Our members, right, are, and we're just continuing to grow and expand companies. And when I say that, like, I get really excited about a member who joins Blue Water, who pursues something and then brings back, shares those insights on how they were successful in pursuing that particular company, right? We've got members out there pursuing companies by the name of Saronic. We have CarMax is another one, right? I've got a member right now very close to landing, I think, with company CarMax up out of Richmond, and we're really excited about that, right? It's an interesting company, interesting industry, and I'm just excited. So things like that continue to build out awareness, right? Which is good for future aspiring members when you plug in, and that conversations always start the same. Hey, Mike, do you know anything about CarMax? As like matter of fact, we have members at CarMax. Here's their landing report. Here's how our members found success there. Here's compensation insight. This is what this looks like, right? When we build this inside out, right, and we just expand our reach into other companies, I get really excited about that, right? Because I know, some potential future aspiring member will benefit from that insight, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so what do we want to talk about, Scott? Holidays are here, man.
Yeah, no, you brought up a good point. We were chatting the other day, that the standard thing, in my industry, this is common as well. Hey, it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
Things kind of calm down, and you're not the assumption is not expecting a lot to get done. I've found in the past I've been able to accomplish a lot more during these kind of downtimes.
Yeah.
And we kind of translate that into, hey, maybe this is more of an opportunity for those, in their transition process to kind of, hone down on a couple things. Maybe people aren't as responsive. That doesn't mean you can't reach out, and maybe they get back to you a little bit later, but it's a chance to do a lot at once. Maybe you just need to dive into a topic like, all right, I got to figure out the survivor benefit plan thing, or
Absolutely.
do my research into types of companies I want to look at. This might be a great time to take advantage of that. So yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on what you're hearing, what are some of the challenges you're hearing from people at this time of year, or have in the past, of course.
Yep.
And what your recommendations are for dealing with it.
Well, so I absolutely agree with you. We do hear from a lot of members, right, as they're stepping into the holidays. Hey, Mike, it seems like, companies are slowing down. They're wrapping up one year, potentially, if they're on the calendar year, starting a new year, right, revamping their plans. And while all of that is true,
It's always going to be true, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's, companies do this, people take PTO, which is paid time off, right? And, sometimes it's use or lose. So yeah, you may be trying to engage with certain individuals, and you may be feeling that end of year, a little bit of a slowdown. But what we encourage members is to remember, it's, while it may be slowing down in a specific, group of leadership or talent acquisition managers or hiring managers or whatever, things don't just stop. And in fact, depending on what company you're pursuing, that's busy time, especially if it's like a retail or Amazon, right? Or Walmart or some of these bigger logistics companies, right? This is a busy time of year for them. And, I tell, and I try to encourage our members. I said, look, most of our members, right, senior veteran leaders coming into this time, this is a great time to make use of for things like introspective assessment of, what are their big rocks in life, right? As they're getting ready to step into career progression, one of the very first things we talk about is, what is your career progression design? And by that, people have to get introspective. You got to spend some time with your inner circle, and you got to say, hey, as I step into this next phase of my life, what's important to me, right? Because think about it this way. You will not be able to assess if something is a good fit for you unless you know what you want to preserve in this next phase of your life, right? Your professional, engagements out there. As you step into the at-will work environment, I'm leaving my time in service. I'm hanging up the uniform. I'm now pursuing the at-will work environment. What's important to me? And it might be something like, I don't know, help me out here. Compensation, location, type of work I want to do, company I want to work for. there's going to be certain things that are important to somebody like you, which would not be the same things that are important to somebody like me. We're different. We're individuals. But if you don't spend some introspective time, right, with your inner outer circle to identify those things, then the conversations always start the same with me or somebody in Blue Water. Members come to us and they go, "Hey, Mike, what do you think about this? What do you think about this opportunity?" And and my response is typically going to be, I'm agnostic on it, right? You don't really care what I think about it, right? I'm going to ask you, is it a good fit for you? What are the big rocks in your life? And if you can't answer those questions, then we really can't assess whether or not it's a good fit for you or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the holidays is perfect for that. So that's just a little bit of motherhood that I just wanted to throw out. The next thing is, listen, it may be slowed down, and I think you'll agree with this, but that does not mean that nobody is available to network. In fact, there might be a growing list of people that you come across and you can have networking conversations. And I absolutely encourage people to stay up on their networking efforts. I know you and I did a discussion not long ago, but one of the largest underutilized approaches in networking is like the cold call, right? We have a video tutorial and we cover with members how to use LinkedIn as a weapon, really, to target somebody. And we absolutely encourage people to do that way. Look at, an industry, then look at a company, and then target a company, and then in there, look at all the people within that company, and then work hard to understand things that you have in common with people at that company. And if you haven't watched our video tutorial on how to do this on LinkedIn, I highly encourage, it's about 15 minutes long, highly encourage you to take a look at it because it can really be eye-opening. Now, truth in advertising, people are strange animals, right? Steve Weeman and I, we watch this pretty close and we ask our members and we try as best we can to get some analytical feedback, and response rate. So when you're just cold calling somebody out there, right? In the, the at-will work environment, the world, which is the Wild West, which is anybody out there, you get about a 30% response rate, meaning you're going to try 10 times and maybe 2 to 3 people are going to come back to you. And people come up to me and they go, "Yeah, Mike, that doesn't seem like a very big ROI. Why do I want to put effort into this?" And I say, listen, networking is the single most important thing that's going to turn your vision of success into reality. It's all about networking. It's not about writing a great resume. It's not about doing anything else. It's going to be about the relationships that you build with somebody at a company or who has been at a company who's going to basically be able to impart upon you insight into that company on how to navigate it, approach it, and ultimately find success there, right? And it's all about networking. So over the holidays, and in fact, Scott, think about it this way, like everybody's going to go to probably, not everybody, but, often you'll find yourself at a holiday party. Maybe, you're going to be at some gathering someplace. Listen, take advantage of those, what I would say, more frequent social occasions, right? I mean, I'm not a social animal. I don't do these things throughout the year, but Christmas, right? You're going to find yourself likely in a couple of settings in a social setting, right? Well, take advantage of that. Find somebody in the room that you don't know, go introduce yourself and start that networking, right? You honestly have no idea where it will go. The thing I love about the targeted discussions in the networking environment, the cold calls, like you just don't know the world that you're plugging into. It can be very, very exciting, right? And what I mean by that is you might be having a conversation with a hiring manager at a company and he goes, "Oh my gosh, Scott, you're exactly what we were looking for. Hey, do you have time, to meet with me and a couple of my partners on this team? We'd love to have a conversation with you. How about after the new year? Let's set that up and let's do this, right? Like, man, that's a gold mine, right? Like you may be bringing the answer to somebody. You don't even realize it, right? As you're networking. So you have to be prepared, right? You got to be prepared to go 0 to 100 in very, very short period of time. But B, just understand as you're growing your network in that fashion, it can happen very quick and real. We do have members that find success in this capacity, right?
And I want to build on that a little bit because, I always just thought when you're coming out of the military, you're looking for a job, starting a new, opportunity, whatever it might be. You're ultimately selling yourself to somebody,
absolutely,
right? And
we're all in sales. I think you like to say that, right?
We're all in sales. It's always networking. But what is sales and marketing? Those are bad words in some regards, or they come across that way. But
I think to the ill-informed, right? To the
right. It's just
the people that step into the at-will work environment, they quickly realize business development, sales. If you're looking for compensation, that's a real area that you need to consider, right?
You're just looking for one client, which is whoever's going to hire you. But and building that database, for networking, unfortunately, sometimes you got to be on all the time. Like if you're literally trying to build your database to create a new opportunity, be ready. I wouldn't say be on. You don't want to overdo it. You don't have to give your elevator pitch to everybody. And frankly, that's probably, overdoing it. I would say in those social environments, as you chat with people, just be like, hey, I'm getting out of the military soon. Just curious. You think you got anybody in your network you think I should talk to and meet? I'm looking to grow my network. Like people be like, oh yeah.
Hey, and we spend time
with honest.
We throw out, we crack the nut on the language to use, because a lot of times our members come to us and they go, Mike, what do I say? How do I say this? Like, I know I want to meet more people in the company, but how do you say it? And so we spend time with members and say, this is how you ask that question. This is how you say that. And to your point, exactly, you're having a conversation with somebody. You go, hey, Scott, you know what? I've really enjoyed the conversation here. Hey, and I love having the opportunity to learn more about US Vet Wealth. Hey, who else would you recommend I be talking to continue this deep dive, on the company?
Yeah.
Just
and the other thing,
branding, right? Hey, who else would you recommend I be talking to? Is there somebody that you might be willing to connect me with, right?
And the other thing to think about when it comes to cold outreach on LinkedIn, just remember, a couple of tenets that people wouldn't be on LinkedIn if they weren't looking to connect. Now, Absolutely. They may not be active, so that's not your fault. That's not their fault either. It's just a timing thing. So you can't control that.
Yeah.
You can't control whether or not someone's going to be interested or open to talking. They might have their own agendas. Yeah. But and so that's where it is a numbers game where, that I call it the 10-3-1 model. 10 outreaches on average give you three responses, probably lead to one call.
You know what? I'm sure you've said that before. I just, don't recollect it, but that is a great way to look at this. Yeah. Right? 10-3-1. So,
So if you think about it, of your, I'm sure you got data on this somewhere. We don't need the specifics now, but all right, how many people did someone have to talk to before they landed their next good fit, not just a job, right? So might need to talk to 100 people. If you're tracking it, who knows how many conversations you had. That means 1,000 outreaches to get to those calls.
100, yeah.
But it's not that. That's the cool thing about LinkedIn. It's not that hard. And if people, don't respond, then
Not only LinkedIn, but for our members, they will understand this, and you understand this as well too. I look at LinkedIn as, it's the world, right? That there are so many people out there that you may or may not have anything in common with. Imagine if there was a place that you could go where where, the LinkedIn ecosystem was just people that looked like you, who also had a fundamental understanding on how to make the next steps in their career progression. Who would, you ping them once and they're going to come back to you. They're going to willingly share insights to you. What I'm describing for you, you already know this, but for the people that are listening in today, that is what we have built here at Blue Water Digital.
Yeah.
Imagine a platform like LinkedIn that you could plug into with 500 other individuals who look just like you, who have been through the Blue Water process, who understand what they're doing, who are willing to share their insights, who have landing reports available all in one location. And your 30% response rate is going to go to about 96% response rate, because they are an active part of us helping to grow and scale this effort. That's Blue Water Digital. And that is an amazing ecosystem that is available to our members, right? There's no fear of plugging in. I'm like looking through Blue Water Digital. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize we had somebody at CarMax or at Centera Medical or at Johnson & Johnson or Microsoft or Adobe or whatever the company has to be, not to mention the big defense, Anduril, Shield AI, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, whatever your flavor is, you're like, oh my gosh. And now you can click on it. And now you can see the Blue Water members who are actually at that company. Oh my gosh, they have landing reports submitted. Oh my gosh, we have compensation data. You mean I could potentially understand what this company is going to extend to me in an offer before I even pursue them? Yes, that's the whole portion, the reason that the purpose that we're building this platform, right? I like to say, and you'll appreciate this, right, from being an Army guy, hey, no fog of war, Scott. No fog of war, man. We remove it. We give members 20/20 visibility. You still have to do the introspection. What's important to you, right? I mean, you can't jump into the ecosystem. That's not helpful. Figure this out with your inner circle. What's important to you? Have a look around what you may be interested in. Have those conversations. And then we target the network, target those points of contact, and start moving out, right?
Yeah.
So we're really excited about this. But one thing I wanted to talk to you, you've got it in our talking points here. Make use of this time over the holidays to upgrade your digital presence, right?
Yeah.
What I typically find, and again, I'm starting to see a trend here. While members understand the importance of a digital footprint, and we spend a lot of time sharing with members how to upgrade their social media profile, right? Their landing pages, et cetera, on LinkedIn, or really whatever social media channel you have of choice. It kind of plateaus, right? I mean, we give people resources to get a headshot, and they're like, yeah, Mike, I'll get around to it whenever. Well, guess what? This is a great time to get around to it, right? I mean, what else is going on? Get a good headshot. In fact, I'm just going to throw out here, Chris Denzer. I know you don't probably know the name. Chris, I doubt you're probably listening. If anybody's listening in, Chris is the current Commodore, Strike Fighter Wing Commodore at Naval Air Station Oceana, getting ready to step into his own career progression. But I was just looking at his profile page on LinkedIn, and that headshot of him is AI generated. And, that was one of the tools that we offer up to members to go take a look at. And I don't know if you're trying to pull it up right now, but I just want to pull it up real quick and I want to have a look at it.
Sure. Yeah. My profile is AI generated.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at this picture, and it's a great picture of him, but the background a little blurred. It's in some kind of a city setting here or anything. And I'm just going, this is amazing, because I really looked at it and I thought he had a headshot done. And he came back and he goes, isn't AI wonderful? And I go, you're kidding me. And he's like, man, that's some of the services that are available. So, make time over the holidays, right? These are easy things we can do, but they do take a little bit of time. So carve out time. You have time. Most of our membership who are getting ready to step into career progression, you have time over the holidays, right? You do. And
Yeah.
so yours is AI generated as well too.
Yeah. And I don't know, does that look like me? Is it good
Yes,
enough?
it does. That's amazing.
Like,
I'm going to do an
I
AI generate. I'm going to do an AI generate. Talk me through the process. How
you
did you
should,
do
yeah.
this with AI?
One, first, get over the, oh, it's not a real photo, it's not me.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
being
agree.
authentic. It's like, hey guys, we're in the digital age. It's about
Yeah.
efficiency right now. It
Yep.
is you. Everything's AI. People are, AI is just a
Yep.
calculator now. Your photos are going to be photoshopped anyways, right? If you're hiring a professional photographer,
You're going to go in and blush
they're
out a blemish on your face or whatever.
they're cleaning it up.
Lighting. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this saves you money and time. And really, it's just the one headshot. And this way you don't have to overthink it and stuff. It's like so anyways, going through the process, there's a number of different tools out there that use it, but or that offer it.
So what did you do, Scott? Did you end up having to send or submit like 50
Yeah,
different pictures of you so the
I think it
AI,
was like 12. I
is
think I
that what it
submitted
was?
like 12 photos. um they got to be similar in the sense of, if you're wearing glasses, have glasses in all of them. If you got a beard, have a beard in all of them.
Okay.
But in you could probably just go outside with your, I mean, frankly, even if you don't want to do this, you can do a pretty good job just taking your phone, going outside, put on a nice shirt, have your spouse take a photo of you.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be good enough for LinkedIn, as long as it's framed well. Right? A lot of people kind of have photos
Yeah,
where it's their whole
exactly.
body and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So the first thing's framing. Look at the camera, smile, and just try to be authentic. That's what people want to see, just so they can see, all right, this looks like you
Yeah.
know I can see who I'm talking to, across the table, right?
Yeah,
If
I'm
you're
intrigued by the AI approach because
Yeah.
we do offer our members several other points of contact, portraits for patriots, right?
Right,
Eric
right.
Hall in
And if
Colorado Springs, you can reach out to him; he'll hook you up. And
Right,
you
and that would, if you got an opportunity to get a good
yeah,
deal on a professional photographer, like, of course, take that as well.
right.
Um,
This is
but
interesting to me. That's
so so
interesting to me.
so what it does is you buy a package. Whether or not you want to get um, 10 options or 200 options, right? And you can kind of tell it what kind of outfit to wear and that kind of stuff, but it's gonna base it a little bit on the photos you send it.
It's just
um
amazing. That's amazing.
and then I think the real trick was, some of my favorite photos, I showed them to my wife. She goes, no, that doesn't really look like you, right? Use this one. This one looks like you. So have somebody else
QA it. Yeah,
help you choose which one you
yeah.
want to do. But
I love it.
yeah,
I love it.
so I think, for purposes right now, just to keep the ball running, and that way you're not concerned about
Yeah.
setting up your profile, because then you can move on to the more important things, or the additionally important things. Getting
Well,
your headline right.
exactly. Well,
Having something.
the background banner. I mean, you had a nice background banner up there. I'll tell you what, nothing screams I'm not current on my profile page by having the LinkedIn, three-tone of green backdrop that just is nothingness, right? And that just screams I'm not active. And it's like, why? So we can turn on background banners very, very quickly. We've helped several of our members do that. And in our profile page optimization content, we tell you the pixel ratio and how to find the right picture. And if you need help, we even say, hey, just reach out to us. I can turn one very, very quickly for you, right? But spend a little bit of time. These are the artistic kind of things that a lot of people have opinions on. What a great time of the year to go, man, you know what? I'm going to take a few hours. I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to knock this out. And it's a game of inches. I get it, right? I'm never going to tell you you're not going to get a job if you don't have a headshot or a banner, but it's a game of inches. I will tell you 100% of the time, as soon as I reviewed a resume and you were in the keep pile, the very next place I wanted to go, Scott, was to social media because I wanted to see you. I wanted to meet you digitally, right? I mean, that's just human nature. And if you rob me of the opportunity to make that deeper connection, does that mean I'm not going to hire you? I wouldn't go that far, but does that mean it's a missed opportunity that I can't make a deeper connection? Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. And so spend a little bit of time doing it. But in the talking points, right, you throw it out. It's like optimize your LinkedIn profile page, right? The other thing I love about this is how about posting? How about sending a couple of comments out on LinkedIn? How about trying to grow your algorithm a little bit so that when you do post something of value, it goes to a wider audience? And we make it very easy, Scott. You make it very easy for Blue Water members because you and I both post frequently. And think about this. Members who are just stepping into this world, it's a little bit daunting, but we make it easy. So what do I mean by that? You and I post, right? All somebody has to do is just go on. Even if you just said, Scott, thanks for the information. Really enjoyed reading that article. Send. Like if you just did that, or if you forwarded it to somebody, or if you reposted it, or if you just left another comment, like people don't realize little engagements, right, in the social media world change your algorithm a lot, right? And done over time, you can grow a reach out there, right? So
the trick with using LinkedIn effectively, and sometimes you do it in sprints. Like I tend to have to use it in sprints versus being on it every day. But if you have an opportunity for a few weeks where you can be on it every day during the holidays, you can really start to game how it's going to work best for you. You can start using the search features to allow you to narrow down what type of post you see first, so so that you're more likely to find useful information and then be able to make a comment. And the best way is, what does LinkedIn want? Think about LinkedIn as a 24/7 networking event on any topic, so you can narrow it down to your specific topic or industry. And then before doing cold outreach, here's what I always notice. If I make a post that gets a lot of engagement, when people leave a comment and then send me a private message saying, hey, I really appreciated that post.
Right.
I would love to chat with you more about this. I'm like, happy to.
Yeah.
And so most people that are actively posting, they're trying to post to get views, right? Or to get comments, because they're actively growing their network through posting. Only 1% of LinkedIn users do active posting. It's that low. So if you are doing posting, you're now in that percentage. You're just more likely to be seen by people.
Yep.
But you can be the person doing the commenting that helps that poster.
Sure.
Every time someone leaves a
helps
comment,
your algorithm grow and scale as well too.
Exactly. And so so if you've narrowed down your search and the types of posting you see, one, you're going to start noticing people like, hey, I might actually like to chat with this person, right? So you get engaged with them through the comments, and you might see other people in the comments as well. But it's just, again, think of it as a networking event. You wouldn't show up at a networking event and just sit in the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, you might.
Yeah.
It's not going to be very useful.
You're missing the opportunity.
And maybe you're not up on stage giving a speech, and maybe you're not really giving your elevator pitch, or really just trying to feel out the room. That's what the comments section can be about. Feel it out, drop some tips in there, and or appreciation, as you said.
Yeah.
And that way you can increase that probability of starting a conversation. It gives you new profiles. Hey, someone's
Sure.
engaging on this person's profile. Well, who are they?
Yeah.
It gives you different ways to kind of explore the platform as you're going through this. And I think kind of like with Blue Water Digital, start to get to know the other Blue Water members, connect with them
Yep.
on LinkedIn if they're doing posting,
Yep.
comment on them first, then see, oh, who's connected with them.
Yep.
It really can be that simple. You'd be surprised how quickly you'd be like, oh, well, there's my 1,000 new connections,
Yeah.
and starting to build on that. So it doesn't have to be a slog. It
Absolutely
can
agree.
be easy, almost. Well, I wouldn't say easy. That's not the right word, but it can be done, in batches, so to speak. You can get a lot of results quicker
Yeah.
if you're, active with it. But
One of the things, I guess, in theme, right? And looking at your notes here, as we talked about this yesterday, is make good use of the time over the holidays, right? And we're trying to give members and listeners some ideas. Networking. Do those tasks that are going to take some time. Revamp your social media, LinkedIn profile page, headshots, right? I get it. Bad weather, cold outside. Well, you can do it all AI now if you want. And there's some amazing results that are coming out of this. We've got members, if you're interested, or if you would prefer a headshot, right? We do have those connections, right, with companies that are out there that provide headshots, right? So we can absolutely do this. But the one thing that I want to talk about, Scott, is because I think you have continued to refine this. Let's talk about, I think the holidays at the end of the year, it's a great time for whether or not you're wrapping up, on a business side, profit and loss, all your kind of stuff out there, right? Getting ready to leave. It's TSP, survivor benefit plan, finances. How are we looking, right? Thinking about building the war chest, all these things, right, that you specialize in. And I know your tool that you've been working on. Would love just to kind of get a quick thoughts on that and overview and where you're tracking. But I think the end of the year, right, is a good time for people to reflect financially, right?
yeah,
You've got some
yeah,
decisions. Don't wait until somebody asks you, survivor benefit plan today. I need your answer, yes or no. Are you in or you out? Right. Well, let's lead turn this a little bit. That time
yeah.
will.
Because
So yeah.
Yeah, because it always comes up like, hey, I gotta go through my VA disability. No, I'm
Yeah.
just learning about survivor benefit plan. Like I didn't realize, there's a lot of things I got to learn here, not just about how it works, but then what are the alternatives? How do they work? It's not just, I mean, yes, getting more insurance or getting private insurance. That's the short version of it. But does it equate to a proper SPP replacement? And that's where it's up to you. What do you qualify for? How much protection you want? How do you want to fund it? The same variables of SPP come in, except for SPP is a fixed cost, fixed benefit, fixed situation on when
Yeah.
you get any money back versus more customization. Well, that there's a learning curve there, but whether that's just understanding SPP um or getting educated on the alternatives. I've built out a series of calculators, one of which is
Love this.
SPP
Yeah.
focused,
Love it.
but you can find it at militaryretirementcalculators.com, and in the description of the video I've got links, and also to a tutorial section where I've got some webinars that you want to explain tutorials on how to use the tool. You can also access these at the top, but if you go to the resources page here, you can get more in depth, kind of how to think about these questions and stuff. But
You've really done a great
um,
job with this, Scott. It looks fantastic, right?
no,
Look,
thanks. And in some regards, it's a lot of info and to go through. But hey, when you're going through retirement briefings, they're giving you all sorts of stuff, anyways. But it's more generalized. And I tried to create this where you can customize it and sit down with your spouse and go through and really analyze your own numbers, while also not just being a calculator, also an education tool where you can learn more about why different variables are important, some questions you want to think about along the way. Um, exactly what are the costs going to be and what the trade-offs are. Thinking about the probabilities. That's the one thing about SPP. There's only one scenario where you get any money back. Well, the Department of the Actuary, the DoD Office of the Actuary, has all the data of every retiree, and they've got their own calculators you can download. But I've used that data to, hopefully make it, a little bit more easy to consume.
Sure.
But the idea is, you can, based on your age and your spouse's age, what are the probabilities that the scenario occurs where the retiree passes away and the spouse survives longer, right? So you can think about that, versus with a custom plan. Perhaps you've got more flexibility to be able to change beneficiaries and stuff. So a lot of education here on the SPP decision, but then I also introduce, okay, so what are the private solutions? What is term insurance? What
Yeah.
is permanent insurance? And how do you combine those into a
Sure.
strategy to do it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what we do at US Vet Wealth. We call it the war chest strategy,
I love it.
and it allows you
Great job
to,
with this. Yeah.
put those same dollars you would have otherwise put into SPP into a plan that can like change as your life changes. So that's what we like to bring to the table. Not a right fit for everybody. Not everybody can qualify or
No,
fund it
but
well. But
Scott, I've
if
said this, you struck a chord with me years ago when we aligned, right? I mean, I wanted to partner with somebody who could offer up this level of insight to our members here at Blue Water.
yeah,
And I've shared with you my own experience when I navigated the SBP decision. Um, and it was really thrust on me. It was uncomfortable. It was very pushy. It was very stressful. And I would love to tell you that I made an informed decision, but I just didn't appreciate the approach. I backed away from it because it was a threatening approach. Hey, you need to do this. You need to do this today. And oh, by the way, if you don't, you got to get this letter signed by your wife at home and come back, say she's okay. And it was just this big, huge, in your face frontal assault. And I'm like, man, I don't appreciate this kind of approach. So you can take your whole program and just pack sand. But for the listeners out there, I'm not trying to endorse one or the other. I'm
yeah,
just saying, don't do what I did. I made an emotional decision, and this absolutely needs to be what's the opposite of emotional, right? A factual decision. And you approach this mathematically, and the numbers, it's not emotional. It will say, hey, mathematically, this is a good approach for you,
hmm
right?
I mean,
Or, hey, you know what? You're completely healthy. The actuaries would say this is a better approach for you, right? And
yeah,
I just love your approach. And so thanks
no,
for all you do. I mean, our members benefit from this insight, no doubt.
no. Well, thank you. I mean, it was through your members and seeing what you were doing that I realized, oh gosh, I didn't realize so many senior leaders. You think, hey, I did 30 years in the military, I go to retirement coming up. This won't be a surprise. Well,
It is.
it's more of a surprise than
Yeah.
not, and it is stressful. So I don't like to discount the emotion part of it completely. Like all of a sudden, because the spouse is, of course, hey, this is my benefit. This is what I'm hanging on to make sure that if something happens, I have a return. But then, yeah, some people say, you know what, it just doesn't feel right, or the math doesn't look good for me. There's got to be a better way. Maybe there is for you. Again, I don't like to say SBP is good or bad, or private insurance is good or bad.
Just
But
different.
there's
Yeah.
opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting to know what's right for you is the whole point. So I tried
Yeah.
to
It's a good way to put it out. Yeah.
make this tool, and obviously I've written a few books on this topic. You can get them on Amazon or download them from my website, where I go through scenarios. But not everybody has time to. It should only take a few hours to read. It's a quick book, but I realize sometimes it's hard to get to, and you forget that you've even downloaded it. So this is meant to be sit down, crunch your numbers, get educated at the same time, and it's not going to answer everything. you probably start, generate more questions, if anything. But at least now you start thinking, okay, here's the questions I need to get answered, and then you
Yeah.
can schedule a call with us. We'll walk you through it, and then if it makes sense to move forward for uh, designing a solution, getting qualified, we're happy to walk you through that process.
No, I love it.
But
And I don't tell you near enough, but thanks for being a part of the Blue Water family, right? You bring great insight, great resources, and I love the way you talk about it. It's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of people. And you are absolutely right. Just because
yeah,
we are senior leadership stepping in, the false assumption is that we've got it all figured out, all wired. And the fact of the matter is, most of us don't, right? And
that's funny.
yeah,
That reminds me of a quote. We'll get back to the CrossFit thing.
yeah,
Is the founder of CrossFit used to always say, "It's not for everybody, but it is for anybody." Right? Anybody who wants to put
yeah,
in the time and effort
yeah,
and that kind of thing. So,
yeah,
and that's the idea here.
yeah.
Sometimes the timing's not right to think about the SPP, or the family situation just says, hey, we just
Well,
feel more comfortable with SPP.
here,
It's like, great, glad
here's a
you're happy.
here's a real world example, right? We had a member uh, who has been out for a while, right? Has transitioned, and I had a conversation with him, and he was going, "Hey, I didn't take SBP, but due to some factors in his life or whatever, he was going, hey, that that now looks like a good." So he's 5 years out. He's trying to go back, and I guess there's a way that you can go back into the program. But he was telling me you have to buy back into it. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was a substantial amount of money that he was going to have to buy back into the program, to like tens of thousands of dollars. It was like 40, 50 grand that he was going to have to
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
it back into the program. Does that sound right? I mean, you're the expert here,
Yep.
but
That's essentially how insurance works. You got to make back premium payments,
yeah, it was just crazy.
because so yeah, that's the hard reality,
Yeah.
and no guarantee of return. So really it just
Well,
comes down to, can you qualify for something better,
yeah.
and can you design it, and fund it better.
Yeah.
If not, SPP is probably the easier option. But
Well,
yeah,
again, I think the point we're trying to make is you've got some great resources. You're a trusted resource for us and the members here at Blue Water. So thank you for that. But I think the holidays, kind of end of year finances, SBP, TSB, certainly if you're stepping into career progression in 2026, make good use of this time, right? Make good use.
opportunity to look through that
Yeah.
for sure. And
So what
well,
else?
with
What else?
that in mind, well, one sec. Yeah, the other thing to spend some time on is sign up for our podcast page, where
Yeah.
you can look at past episodes, where Mike and I talk about LinkedIn. We got a whole
All
series of
crazy
videos on that.
like this. Yeah.
So lots of topics in here.
Yeah.
You can get to the books I was talking about. Here's the calculator link. So this is a Substack. If you're not familiar with Substack, it's just a kind of a newsletter platform. My wife's podcast for military spouses is on here as well.
Oh, love it.
So this is where we're consolidating everything, and of the topics that Mike and I talk about, about transition. So you can browse around in here,
Great.
and subscribe, and you'll get updates on and new stuff as we're coming along. So share this with friends and colleagues that
Yeah.
are having questions. We want to make it easy when people do have questions. Given
Great.
a resource for you to share,
Yeah.
listeners, with people you're talking to. Hey, actually, here's a site where you can go back and watch a bunch of videos, and help you think through some stuff. So
Scott, we're at an hour already. Can you
yeah,
believe it? That's crazy.
yeah. So I got a great way for us to end, thanks to Tom. Real quick, I
Awesome.
want to answer this person's question about the photos, the AI photo. I'm assuming with the DA photo, you can't use shouldn't use the AI,
Yeah.
right?
I I would
Who
probably think
knows? Maybe
not.
the DoD's using it. I know, or the DoD, the DOW, or
Yeah.
yeah, right. Um,
It's a good
I don't know.
question, though. Yeah, but I would
Yeah,
think probably not, right? Yeah.
ask them, ask your
Yeah.
HR department. But okay, so Tom, I won't read the whole thing because he must he
Oh
must
my
be a
gosh.
poet. Tom's a poet and didn't know it.
Or maybe
If
a
you
poet
look,
and does know it, right?
yeah,
So,
well, obviously he knows it. We didn't know it.
all right, read it. I
But
want let's do it.
here, hold on. He wrote us.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
awesome.
Tom, you're amazing. He probably put it on his podcast too.
No, well, right. All right. Just two weeks before. Is it 2 weeks before? Holy cow!
Yeah.
2 weeks before Christmas, when all through the house, Tucker and Wallace were on LinkedIn, get away from each spouse.
The
Um,
podcast was progressing with care
with
in hopes
care.
that watchers would be there.
The transition to military will nestle all snug as part of the Fed, while visions of that sweet civilian career danced in their heads.
And Tucker and
And
Mike, in the midst of their rap, were giving. You
a
got to say it.
gouge for
Oh,
the full comment is if you go to the live event on LinkedIn,
yeah.
you can read the rest of
Uh,
the
Tom,
the, the
golf,
chat. So
golf
thank you,
clap.
sir.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Can only give
You
it
know, yeah,
a
we are
thumbs
in
up.
the season, right? We are in the season. So, okay.
Oh wait, I'm stupid. He probably had AI do that.
Well, maybe he did. I don't know.
No,
But
because all
he's
he'd
a
have to
smart
do,
enough
yeah.
guy to do it. There's no doubt about
And
it.
I don't want to discredit his skills, but he kicked that out pretty quick.
Better watch it.
But
He's a lawyer. He might take offense to that. We might be brought up
yeah,
on charges, right?
no, right.
Love having you in
No,
the network, Tom.
yeah, man.
All right, sir.
So last thing I wanted to say about
Yeah.
AI, that was a tip I thought about earlier. When it comes to, figuring out, that introspective type stuff,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tools out there. There's worksheets you can go through. Maybe we should even develop one. Hey, questions to ask yourself and friends and family. But literally, have ChatGPT interview you.
So,
Like,
yeah, the tool can do that, right? No doubt. Absolutely.
right. That's just kind of an easy trick. Do you tell it what you're asking? You can find some videos on how to do this, but have it interview you and back brief you. That's
Well,
where
in fact,
it can be useful.
what I would recommend is if you go to Blue Water and take our content on how to design your career progression, think
Mm,
about this. You could even upload that content because it has a SWOT analysis, some of the questions already lined up, and then knowing what Chat GPT does, you could upload that content and say, now ask me questions about my SWOT analysis or interview me on what is important to me in my next phase of life so I can now start to drive in. The prompt you put in can really bring out an interesting result and help you navigate what truly is important to you in your next phase, right?
yeah, and I think
Holidays are a great time to do this. Don't do it alone. Make sure your inner circle, your spouse, your family, like whoever it is that you're with, right? You want to kind of bounce these ideas off of them too.
yeah, because don't be limited to just doing a Myers Briggs test. Oh,
Yeah,
this
so
is
much
my
bigger.
label. I am
Yeah,
now this, and it's just
yeah,
like no.
yeah.
You don't even know what's out there yet. Yes, your Myers Briggs thing might be relevant to future decisions,
And that's a great
but
point. You're going to have an idea when you start this, but as you start having networking, informational conversations, and navigate the spectrum, members
yeah,
change what's important to them, right?
don't
Yeah,
let a one-time quiz
yeah.
determine what you think you're allowed you're supposed to like or not, or feel you're good at.
Love
You
it.
might be surprised. So
Hey,
awesome, Mike. No,
just to let you know, I do look at your notes, Scott. Look at that, right? And I was just checking them off.
you got a
Right,
printer.
it's a
I
list.
haven't had I
It's
haven't
a
had a
list.
printer in years.
Yeah, man. No, it's good. It's good. All right, brother.
Good stuff.
Well, it's always a
All right,
pleasure.
guys. No, absolutely. We'll probably just pick it up in the new year, I guess, unless we got something else,
Maybe
hot.
do one next week. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right, everybody.
Be
Tom,
well.
thanks for the poem.
Make good use of this time, you guys. Don't do nothing over the holidays. Make good use of it. All right.
Oh, Tom said he not the poem. He did write that out. Wow.
He did write it. Again.
Impressive, man.
Golf clap. Golf clap. All right.
All right,
Thanks,
guys. See ya.
Cheers.